that she was sacrificing Camila Cardoso for the streak, that she had lost the dressing room because of her insisting on running through Angel Reese when she was their least efficient offensive player. So a lot of people rumored throughout the season that like Teresa Weatherspoon was sacrificing wins to get Angel Reese her double-double streak. And I called BS on all that. And a recent report says that might be true.
The Chicago Sky just fired Teresa Weatherspoon after 1 season. But here's the real shocker. It's all tied to Angel Reese and a doping scandal. You think you know what happened? Trust me, it's way crazier than you think. Weatherspoon was a basketball legend, a Hall of Famer who seemed destined for coaching greatness. But man, did things go south fast. 1 minute she's the new head coach of the Sky, the next she's out the door with a 13-27 record. That's a rough season, but it's not even the whole story. You know what's crazier? This isn't just about losing games. There's something way bigger going on here, and it all connects back to Angel Reese. I'm talking steroids, cover-ups, and a whole mess of drama. But here's the question that'll blow your mind. What could make a respected coach like Weatherspoon risk it all for a rookie? The answer is gonna shock you. Ever wonder why a legendary coach would put everything on the line for a rookie?
From the beginning, it was clear that Weatherspoon's inexperience would be a difficult hurdle to overcome. She had just 6 seasons of head coaching experience, all at the collegiate level. By the way, more than Christie's sides. Obviously, they played through Reese and not Cardoso. According to league sources, Weatherspoon had lost the locker room because of a culture that catered to the needs of a few players. Dear Lord. Weatherspoon's inability to keep the team schematically compared was evidenced by rotations and poor late game play calls, for failure to maximize rookie Camila Cardoso. The number 3 overall draft pick on offense also came into question.
Weatherspoon saw something special in Reese, but their connection went way beyond basketball. What happened behind closed doors that made this duo so dangerous? Let's talk about Teresa Weatherspoon and Angel Reese. These two weren't just your average coach and player. They had a bond that was something else. Reese looked up to Weatherspoon like she was some kind of basketball goddess. She even called her an unsung hero and said Weatherspoon was the main reason she joined the Sky. That's some serious admiration right there. But here's where things get weird. The Sky had a terrible 13-27 record last season. You'd think with this dream team of Weatherspoon and Reese, they'd be crushing it, right? Wrong. Something wasn't adding up.
League sources have previously told the Sun Times that free agents were skeptical of joining the Sky. On Wednesday, Pagliata acknowledged the team. Every locker room goes through their ups and downs. Elizabeth Williams said there's always growing pains, whether it's with younger players or a new coach. That was the general sentiment. Had heard things along those lines. It's really bad. That's really, really bad. So basically, they fired Teresa Weatherspoon because they found out no one was going to play for her.
And people started asking questions. Then the reports started coming out, and they were not pretty. Apparently, Weatherspoon was ignoring Reese's performance issues. We're talking about a rookie scoring less than 10 points in half of her first 10 games. That's not exactly star material, but instead of calling Reese out or benching her, Weatherspoon just let it slide. You're probably thinking, why would a coach do that? Good question. It gets even crazier. Weatherspoon wasn't just ignoring the problem, she was making them worse. She started building the whole team's game plan around Reese. It's like she was obsessed with making Reese the star, even when it was clear she wasn't ready. This messed up the whole team. Imagine being one of the other players, busting your butt every day, and watching the coach favor this underperforming rookie. It's no wonder the locker room was a mess. Players were frustrated, fans were confused, and the losses kept piling up.
Maybe their agents didn't want them there. Maybe they just maybe it was just a passing comment of like talking to us like, oh, I'd love to play for you. I'd love to play with you at some stage. Is that they found out no one was going to play for her. Which is not great. And so all of those free agents that Angel Reese was saying, I'm a good GM, we can get all these free agents. We're like the Gabby Williams situation being like, oh, I'd love to play with you. Just not where you're at. And look, It is what it is.
But Weatherspoon didn't seem to care. She kept pushing Reese, kept giving her chances, even when it was clear it wasn't working. It's like she was blind to everything except Reese's potential. And Reese, she was soaking it all up, probably thinking she was untouchable. The whole situation was a recipe for disaster. You've got a coach ignoring reality, a player who's not living up to the hype, and a team that's falling apart. But why? What made Weatherspoon so devoted to Reese that she'd risk her whole career? That's where things get really interesting. Because this wasn't just about basketball anymore. Weatherspoon and Reese had a connection that went deeper than coach and player. It was almost like they were family. And sometimes when you're that close to someone, you start to lose perspective. Weatherspoon was so focused on making Reese a star that she forgot about the rest of the team. She forgot about winning games. She forgot about her job as a coach. And in the end, it cost her everything. But forgetting her job was just the tip of the iceberg. What if Weatherspoon's obsession with Reese's success pushed her to cross a line that would shake the entire WNBA to its core? Well, that's exactly what happened, and it's about to blow your mind. Remember when sports were just about talent and hard work? Those days are long gone. The Chicago Sky just dropped a bombshell that's rocking the WNBA. They filed a lawsuit against Angel Reese, accusing her of steroid use. Yeah, you heard that right. Steroids in women's basketball. And guess who's right in the middle of it all? Teresa Weatherspoon. Here's where things get wild. Weatherspoon didn't just ignore Reese's performance issue. She allegedly encouraged Reese to use steroids to boost her game. Can you believe it? A Hall of Famer, a respected coach, pushing a young player to cheat. It's like something out of a movie, but it's happening right here in the WNBA. This scandal explains so much about the Sky's terrible season. The poor performance, the locker room drama, the tension between players, it all makes sense now. Imagine being on that team, working your butt off every day, while your coach is secretly doping up the rookie. No wonder things fell apart. But this isn't just about the Chicago Sky. This scandal threatens the integrity of the entire WNBA.
Weird, because every single Angel Reese fans, when your best player in the paint is shooting well over 50%, and they're only getting 8 shots per game and still outscoring the other players, she made them more of her friends and her babies than she is a coach. Angel even said she wasn't tough enough. I'm not sure when Angel said that. I said the entire "she puts players in front of the team" narrative wasn't just made up. The other player who was shooting 30% from the field with 14 shots a game, it means you can't coach at all. And I will say this, I did say coming into this year, and I'm like, unless Angel Reese makes a big improvement, she's not going to get the shots that she was getting with Teresa Weatherspoon.
We're talking about one of the biggest names in women's basketball getting caught up in a doping scandal. It's going to make people question everything. How many other players are using? How many other coaches are looking the other way? It's a nightmare for the league. And let's not forget about Angel Reese. She came into the WNBA with so much hype, so much potential. Now her whole career is in jeopardy. Was she pressured into it? Did she know what she was doing? Either way, her reputation is taking a massive hit. The worst part is, this all started because Weatherspoon wanted to win so badly. She saw something special in Reese and was willing to do anything to make her a star. But in trying to create a shortcut to success, she's potentially ruined careers and damaged the sport she loved. Think about it. Weatherspoon was a role model for so many young players. She was supposed to be teaching them about hard work, dedication, and playing the right way. Instead, she's shown them that cheating is okay if it gets you ahead. That's not just disappointing, it's heartbreaking. And what about the fans? They've been cheering for Reese, buying her jersey, believing in her potential. Now they're finding out it might have all been a lie.
Why are these weird conspiracy theories? Are we basically getting told that they're true? Which is mental. Which is absolutely mental. Like, the Sky obviously weren't meant to be tanking. And that was the scariest part of it all. Like, late games down the stretch, I was saying loads of times, I'm like, the Sky are either tanking or she's a terrible coach. Turns out she's just a terrible coach. Her contract becomes gold dust. And I've said this plenty of times, they are probably lining up to trade one of Camila Cardoso or Angel Reese.
How are they supposed to trust what they're seeing on the court anymore? This scandal is going to have ripple effects throughout women's basketball. Other teams are going to be under more scrutiny. There might be more drug testing, more investigations. The league's going to have to work overtime to regain people's trust. You think getting fired is the worst that could happen? For Weatherspoon and Reese, it's just the beginning. The Chicago Sky are now searching for their 4th coach in just 2 years. How does a team recover from that kind of chaos? Let's talk about the immediate fallout. Weatherspoon's gone, and the Sky are scrambling. They've got to find a new coach, rebuild team morale, and somehow salvage their reputation. It's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. The general manager, Jeff Pagliocca, is trying to spin it positively, saying, as an organization, we felt it was time to make a change. We just want to make sure that we're continuing our quest for a championship. But come on, we all know that's just PR talk. The players and fans, they're all over the place. Some are heartbroken to see Weatherspoon go. She was a legend after all. Others are furious, feeling betrayed by someone they looked up to. Imagine being a young player who idolized Weatherspoon, only to find out she was pushing steroids. That's gotta mess with your head. And the WNBA as a whole, this scandal is like a wrecking ball to their reputation. They're already fighting for respect and recognition, and now this happened. People are gonna start questioning everything. How many other players are using? How many other coaches are turning a blind eye? It's a PR nightmare. Nadia Rawlinson, co-owner of the Chicago Sky, tried to put a positive spin on it, saying, "We are deeply appreciative of Coach Teaspoon's contributions to the Chicago Sky, but it is in the best interest of the organization to part ways." But let's be real, that's like thanking the captain of the Titanic for a great cruise before he hit the iceberg. The worst part? This isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about trust. Fans invest their time, money, and emotions into these teams and players. They buy jerseys, attend games, defend their favorites on social media. And now they're finding out it might all be built on lies. How do you come back from that? And what about the other teams in the league? You know they're all sweating right now. There's gonna be more scrutiny, more drug tests, more investigations. The whole league is gonna be under a microscope. It's like one bad apple spoiling the whole bunch. But here's the thing that really gets me. Weatherspoon was supposed to be a role model. She was supposed to show these young players how to succeed the right way. Instead, she taught them that cheating is okay if it gets you ahead. That's not just disappointing, it's dangerous. You know what's crazy? This all started because Weatherspoon wanted to win so badly. She saw something in Reese and was willing to do anything to make her a star. But in trying to create a shortcut to success, she's potentially ruined careers and damaged the sport she loved. It's like she forgot that integrity is more important than winning. And Reese, her whole future is up in the air now. She came into the league with so much potential, and now she might be remembered as the face of a doping scandal. That's a tough label to shake off, especially for a rookie. So, what have we learned from this whole mess? Weatherspoon and Reese's story is a wake-up call for everyone in sports. It's not just about winning at all costs. When you cross that line, you risk everything. Your career, your reputation, and the integrity of the game itself. The fallout from this scandal is huge. It's not just about one coach and one player. It's about trust. How can fans believe in what they're seeing on the court now? And what about the other players who are working their butts off the right way? Here's the real question we need to ask ourselves. In a world where winning seems like everything, how do we make sure we don't lose sight of what really matters? Is a championship worth sacrificing your integrity? That's something every coach, player, and fan needs to think about.